First up at 5 tonight, we are following the latest shakeup to D.C. leadership. Thank you for being here with us at 5 o'clock. I'm Lorenzo Hall.
And I'm Leslie Foster. Today, Councilman Kenyan McDuffie announced he's stepping down from the D.C. Council. Last month, he confirmed, well, he might be considering a run for mayor. We're going to get into that a little bit because he's joining us in the studio. Councilmember McDuffie, slow news day for you. Not much going on.
Not much going on.
But you did announce your resignation from the council today. I wonder why now, and how are you feeling?
I got to tell you, it's been a really day filled with energy and excitement, but also bittersweetness because I've been serving on the Council of the District of Columbia for over 13 years, and it has been the honor of my lifetime to have residents entrust you with leadership to represent them in your hometown. And so you can imagine having the opportunity to talk to my colleagues and give the public a heads up that this is my last legislative meeting of my tenure as a member of the Council of the District of Columbia. So definitely bittersweet. I love this city. And I love the fight that we've been engaged in to improve quality of life for residents, to make sure that people are living in safe, healthy communities, and to have it, come to an end is certainly something that has been fairly emotional.
Yeah, so have it come to an end. I'm sure a lot of folks at home are wondering what next. We know you're considering a run for mayor. If I were a betting man, I would say that you're going to be making that announcement early next year. Would I be losing all of my money on that kind of bet? Will you be making that announcement?
I told everybody today that my last day at the council is January 5th, and that I'm going to have some news to share thereafter about my plans. And I think people who know me know how much I love public service. They know how much I love Washington, D.C., and they know that there's some unfinished business, because as much as we've tried to do over the last several years to improve our city, we're still facing threats from the federal government. We've got, administration that is tearing apart families, immigrant communities, people who are part of our community. And I've been a fighter my entire life, growing up in Northeast Washington, D.C. I fought on the council for greater fairness in the way that we make policies and economic opportunity and security for people pushed to the margins. And that work is undone.
Got to press you a little bit further, though,
sure.
Because as we've shared this news today with people, the things that we're hearing back is he running for mayor? Yeah. Is he running for mayor? So can you say now whether you are actively considering a run for mayor? Because what you sound like is one chapter is ending and the next one is beginning. You've got the floor. You can make some news right now if you'd like to.
I
love, wait till January.
Yeah, we're right
I
here.
love making news, and I love being here with you guys. I will tell you this: I've had a lot of conversations with residents across all 8 wards over the last couple of months, and I've gotten a lot of encouragement to run for mayor. People want a fighter to be the next mayor of the District of Columbia. They want somebody who's going to come in with very sound, solid leadership skills, somebody who brings with them a sense of clarity and a greater sense of urgency to make sure that our city is more just, it's more economically inclusive, and it's a city that really ushers in opportunity across all 8 wards in a way that we've never seen before. They know that my work on the council has already been focused on those types of things, and that I'll be the fighter that they need to continue to do public service in the District of Columbia.
Sounds like a mayor to me.
Sounds like one to me, too.
Somebody running. All right, so let's get to some big news. Aside from your announcement today, we know that earlier this week, that House Oversight Committee report about the D.C. Police Department accusing the police chief of manipulating that crime data to make it seem as though crime is lower than it is. What do you make of that report?
Well, I don't know if your viewers know, but I'm a former civil rights attorney in the United States Department of Justice. I worked for years in a section that investigated police department. So I know what technical assistance looks like. I know what proper investigations look like. And it's important that we get to the bottom of whatever happened. Right now we've got allegations, we've got a report from Congress. You saw the mayor's really strong, forceful statement, challenging aspects of that report. What we don't want is a report that's tainted with politics. What the people in the District of Columbia need and deserve is a law enforcement department that really prioritizes accountability and transparency in the way that they deliver safety to communities. Having that public trust be at the center of everything our Metropolitan Police Department does is very important right here in our nation's capital. And I believe that Whatever the allegations are, they should be ferreted out, and we should have the facts guide investigations.
These crime statistics were, in some ways, the way the federal government, the president made the case that something needed to be done here. We know that the federal government has stepped in, signaled they're likely to do this again if they want to. We've seen home rule being pressure tested. If you do decide to go forward and press to represent the city in a new way, perhaps as mayor, how would you lead differently to keep this kind of thing from happening?
I would tell you, as somebody who brings a body of experiences, having grown up in the District of Columbia, it's not new to see the National Guard in communities. I faced the National Guard and a host of other federal law enforcement agencies in my neighborhood in Northeast DC as a teenager growing up in Washington, D.C. I know what those descending on those neighborhoods feels like, and what residents want is to feel safe. They want to feel safe. They want to be able to trust their law enforcement. I think the Metropolitan Police Department has come a long way, in part because they've gone through investigations from the Department of Justice, allegations around violations of civil rights and civil liberties, and they have been reformed to some extent. What we don't need right now is to go backwards. We don't need data to be manipulated. We want people to feel safe. We want the statistics to reflect that DC is safer today than it was a couple of years ago.
Now, on that same note about making people feel safer, are you at all in touch with the Bowser administration when it comes to selecting this new police chief?
That's a decision that the administration is going to have to make. What we know is we need somebody who understands constitutional policing. We know that residents don't want outside law enforcement who don't understand constitutional policing, who don't respect people's civil rights and civil liberties. We want a law enforcement department that really focuses in on building trusting relationships, solving crimes when they happen, and ensuring that community safety is really reflective and inclusive of the people who live in all 8 wards of Washington, D.C.
A lot of change happening here with DC politics. Mayor leaving, you leaving your role. Janice Lewis-George, your colleague, has thrown her hat into the ring officially. What do you want to say to residents who may have questions about this period of what feels like transition for them at a difficult time?
Well, it does feel like a lot of transition. The environment right now is filled with people who don't feel safe. And it's not just simply because perhaps crimes are happening in their neighborhood, but because they have federal law enforcement descending on their communities, tearing families apart. You have other residents who have suffered some of these decisions, that have been laid off from their jobs, victims of the federal shutdown. And there's a lot of economic anxiety right now. And what I've heard from residents is that they want somebody who's going to come in with really strong leadership and a clear vision for the District of Columbia, one that is more inclusive. When people don't see themselves reflected in the future prosperity of a city, they get distraught about the way things are going right now. And what I've done is been a fighter for those people. I've fought to make sure that we had public safety that really ushers in the human nature of having communities be a part of what it looks like. I know that the NEAR Act that I worked on with my colleagues at the council has really focused on a public health-based approach to crime prevention and intervention that includes the people who've been victims of crime and focuses on both accountability. When you commit a crime, we want you to be held accountable, but it also focuses on opportunity, right? If you have an opportunity to really be able to get a good job, make a living wage, take care of yourself and your family, you're not going to be the person engaged in some of the violence that we're seeing. And it's important to make sure that we have both accountability and opportunity when it comes to law enforcement. And it's also important to make sure that as we think about the future of the District of Columbia, we have a person who's going to be a fighter and somebody who's going to deliver results.
So if you are mayor, what's the issue you tackle on day one, the most pressing issue in the city right now? Or a year from now, I should say.
I can't predict the future. What I know is we've got a long way to go and some unfinished business when it comes to making sure that our city is more reflective of the beautiful diversity that exists here. Everybody, regardless of where you live, regardless of your zip code, should be able to share in the good things that are happening in the nation's capital. And we gotta continue to fight to be able to bring those people out of the shadows and into the fold so that they can enjoy a greater degree of economic opportunity and security right here in Washington, D.C.
So January
it's coming. It's coming.
Is the date when we learn more about the fighter?
I look forward to sharing with you all more about the fighter and how I'm going to deliver for residents in the District of Columbia. And when I make that decision, I'm going directly and personally to the people who live in this city, who are clamoring for a new vision, who are clamoring for some new energy, and clamoring for a partner in making sure that the District of Columbia goes to the next level.
Okay, well, I guess we'll look forward to that announcement.
Appreciate it.
And that next move.
Councilmember Kenyan McDuffie, best of luck to you wherever that journey takes you.
Thank you.
You can come back here after you make that announcement and do it here for us.
I
too,
like
if
it
you
here. I love to come back. You guys have been great. Thanks.
Thank you, and happy holidays to you.
Same
too.
to you. Thank you. Happy
All
holidays.
right.